Hello, wild ones. Let's learn to lay out a painting. Today I have a 12 by 12 canvas, and I'm going to start thinking about what I want to create. I like Flora Bowley's technique of calling a plan for a painting a river plan. So I know this is going to be a painting about the eagles that I have seen. The decision's already been made is that it needs to be about an animal. I know the format is square. And that's all I know. So it was a book called Design and Competition or Composition Secrets of a Professional Artist. And the artist's name was Donna Baspoli. Is a checklist of a bunch of questions. And the before you start checklist. What is it about? What is about the subject I like? And what's the best way to express that? I've been thinking about this for a couple days, and the thing why I chose an eagle was it's my dad's favorite bird. And I see a lot of them when I'm swimming in the Pacific Northwest. And the thing I love most about them is watching them parent. And more so even listening to them parent, because you can actually hear eagle song, and it is just the most beautiful thing when they're singing to each other during nesting season. That's the first question. The second question is, what do I want the understructure to look like? How I figure that out is I do thumbnails. And I think of a thumbnail as just a smaller version. Because it's a square, I just throw, let's try 6 different squares. Let's try 6. I think I'm going to use a T understructure because what I really thought, the way the parent would be so best suited, or the subject would be best described in a nest format. And this is a page from Gerald Brommer's sketchbook. I went to a class with him years and years ago, and I just love that he went through a bunch of different layouts and said, here's so many layouts. Let's figure out which one we might want to use. I'm thinking I'm going to want a tree, so a vertical format. Maybe I want a whole bunch of trees. And just let's say one tree's in the front with a low branch. And maybe it's a really high branch, but just because we're thinking. I think I'm going to do paired. So let's say there's 2 eagles in the branch, but then there's a bunch of trees behind them too. But one more, that would be their home tree. You don't really get the nest that way. And I think it's a little too straight up and down for me. I think of when I'm thinking about organic shapes, I always think of a horizon line. But when I think about nesting eagles, I don't necessarily think of an eagle flying as a nesting eagle, but they do go out and search for food. So you could just do the horizon line of the lake. You could even throw some of us swimmers in there. Is that more of an eagle painting or more of a scene? I think that's a little too small for the subject matter. So I know I want bigger subject matter. I know I want probably a more intimate view. I could do a vertical and horizontal where I do the big nest in maybe even a graphic way. So I'm not trying to put it in a tree. just making it all about the nest. And then maybe I just keep doing some repetition, like a tree-like structure behind it. It's not bad. It's only got one eagle. That might be okay. A T-shaped design would be maybe the tree coming up with the eagle's nest kind of sitting right on the top of it. I think the eagle's nest in our local lake is like this, where the tree actually broke off, and that's where they put their nest. I just want lots of branches out, and then maybe she's here, he's here, and maybe mom or the other is over here. That's an option of the eagle, and just maybe the talons. When you watch the videos of eagles, this is a lot of the view you get is a super hyper focused, and do like a radial design of the nest. Maybe I just do just the head of one. Obviously, I need to do a little work on what an eagle head looks like. And put it like on a maybe on a cruciform shape, where there's a line, kind of a heavier line coming behind. It's kind of part of the cruciform. I think this doesn't convey my message of great parenting. So nope. I think this one doesn't quite work either. And that one definitely doesn't work. So now I'm down to these three. I don't think this one, I might kind of lay both of these out a little bit bigger and see what I see. Hi, Dobby. Both my puppies are up here with me. Let's see if these questions help us get a little farther down the road. Okay, what is your subject? It is an eagle, and the best way to express that is the what I want to get across about the eagle is the parenting. I think both of these do that. What's the best understructure to place it on? I really thought, I guess I haven't made my midtones here very much. I thought for sure, actually even wrote the T-shape was gonna win. But I'm liking, this feels more like juicy right now. What rhythm do I want to use? The rhythm of the sticks would be super interesting. The mood I want to create, do I want it to be high key, which is bright, light, pastel-y colors? Middle key is kind of where most people stay, in the middle of the road. That's kind of I think of them as rainbow or normal colors. And then low key is dark and moody. And it's interesting because I have like such an easy, this tail will be white. That's why I kind of left it white. This would be black if I do it true to life. These would be bright yellow, and these eggs would be bright white, and then all of this brown tone. So that would be my mid-tone. And such a cool rhythm of sticks. Yeah, I think this is winning. And I actually think it would be really unique to try to do a high key painting with maybe making the eagle like a blue or a purple, instead of a deep black, like a little higher key color. That might be interesting. What shapes will work the best? Organic, geometric, or linear? I'm thinking linear, actually, with some organic. What should dominate? I think these eggs should dominate. And currently I have them placed dead center, but I have this hefty bird off to the side. So, wow, that will be like, that will pull such depth. And I don't want it to be an arrow out of the painting. So I'm really going to be careful. And obviously that tail is going to decide quite a bit what's going to happen. What colors would best suit the viewing? I kind of think a really fun kind of Technicolor. I'm going to go bright. And how much depth do I require? Not much. It's a really short field because I'm only showing you parts of it. That's what I think I was struggling with these, is the bird gets so small when you're trying to put it in a big environment. So close-up view. Close up. The eggs are going to be my dominant. Eggs plus tail, I'm going to say, is what I want to really see. That's my focal point. And I don't need to really consider foreground, middle ground, background. I guess this would be foreground, middle ground, background. The light passage, I'm going to have to think about the light passage a little bit more. So the questions I still have, my questions I still have are lights source, if I have one. Texture. Am I going to use some built texture, like collage texture, or just paint? And is there any personal qualities? I want to build in, which would probably be the collage. And what will identify this painting as my own? I just think that is a beautiful question, and one that young painters struggle with, older painters struggle with, but really, truly, when you go through things like this and you find this magic here, just stay with it a little bit longer than you think you can. And find, you don't need a perfect picture. You need just the elements and to how to think about it. I really think the built collage is what will make it my own. And actually, I think the high key bright colors will make it my own. Question. I love to call out my questions, and then I love to add to my banks. So these are banks that I figured out today. One was, it's going to be a radial design. High key. Collage plus acrylic. And when I'm filling out my banks, that's what I'm doing before I start. My river is going to be the pieces of work I need to do. So I need to figure out sticks, stick texture. I need to figure out egg texture. I need to figure out what a close-up view of a tail looks like. Do a little research. And then I need to go for it. My underpainting, my value, that's the other thing I need to figure out. The last thing I want to do is have a value study. So I'm going to take my thumbnail. I'm going a little bigger, not much bigger, but now I'm really going to call out values. I know the tail is going to be white, and then the body, I think that's kind of how it works, is going to be black or a dark khaki color. My darkest dark is going to be this body shape. And I probably can put some dark darks into around the eggs. And I think I need to make that more egg-like. I think I'm gonna make my eggs a little bit bigger. That might be too big. I think I need some crazy bird legs, because bird legs are fun. And that'll be a nice kind of medium, because it'll be bright colored, but probably actually in my lighter tone. Now, as I go into my sticks, what I'm gonna make sure I do is to put some shadows. So here, if here's a stick, here's a stick, I'm gonna put some shadows all into the same side underneath them and really close to the eggs. So I'm just gonna kind of build, I mean, these sticks are all the same size, which is not how it's gonna be, but I'm building my kind of radial shape. And there'll be some funky ones. And I'm gonna put in those shadows, especially around the tail and the eggs. I want the deepest like darks, and I might need like kind of a longer shadowy pieces over here to help balance out, but not completely balance that darker side. And that is my value study. Not super detailed, not accurate, but definitely kind of gives me a plan. And I know I want some dark to balance out this big dark, but I'm excited. I'm really excited where this is gonna go. And I love that my animal painting is gonna be like a tiny little animal. So I'll be back when I'm starting to put an under painting on the piece. So this is where I'm at right now. This is what a really simple outline looks like. Not much detail, just enough so I kind of know where my big elements are. These are gonna be my lightest lights. These are gonna be my middles, and this is gonna be my dark with an opposite dark interspersed over here. So I'll make sure I have shadowy texture coming in around these sticks all the way to balance out. So I'm gonna kind of have this vertical dark with bright white, and it's not dead center, it's close, but I think with this big texture, I think that kind of pulls it more into a sweet spot. But super excited. I'm gonna do a really bright orange underpainting. And I'm gonna do it with a roller because that's what I have, where I just load up the color. How much of this pencil is gonna come up with it? Might not. I don't think I have quite enough paper paint on there. Okay, I'm doing the underpainting with a little orange and pink Amsterdam and Artist Loft. I've been working with a lot of jelly plates recently in the studio. So I have my roller out and I have my kind of juicy colors out. So why not do a bright, bright, bright underpainting with my roller? It doesn't need to be thick. It can be a nice thin layer. I can still see my underdrawing. I think we're good. Let's find a place for this color. I'm actually looking at this going, that's nice and coated, but it might be a little too sticky. So I'm going to take a deli paper, deli and jelly. It's forever a problem in this studio. And just grab a little bit of the paint off. Yeah, I like that better. And that's what happened to that piece of paper. I like that it's a little mottled, a little interesting.